on this day, there's no one better. Ladies and gentlemen, he is in Indiana on a cell phone, which we'll see how well that works. But for 4 years, we were partners in something called Media Horror Productions. And all the work you're going to hear in the Ramsey tunes was, of course, collaborations between myself and this brilliant guy, Donnie Reggae. Donnie, first of all, Merry Christmas, because I didn't say that to you before, but Happy New Year, my boy.
Happy holidays to you, sir. How are you?
I'm well. You are in Indiana?
Trying to piece together the past 3 days. I'm with my older brothers, and we have reenacted the movie The Hangover because I had to make notes. I was trying to figure out why I've slept each night, and it was a different place every night. And I'm starting to lose things, including my mind.
Starting to get that Mike Tyson tattoo on your face in the morning.
It actually is somewhere else, but we won't talk about it.
We ain't talking. What do you remember most about when we were together? We're talking about, obviously, the John Bonet murder, but we just played Paula the Brown-Nosed Reindeer. How many tunes did we do?
Oh, we did 13 by the time it was all over. I think that it kind of shut down, and then Jean-Marc Carr came back, and we did one for Michael Rowe, your load ashore.
Yeah, for Michael Tracy, Michael Rowe, the load ashore. I remember we did that, yeah.
It was crazy. It stretched too many years, but as I think you pointed out, the FBI had figured it out within the first couple of hours.
Denver cops had it figured out. Dave Michaud was the chief of police of Denver, and he offered his murder squad. I remember that very well. When he offered his murder squad, and the Boulder cops said no, and of course by that time.
And the thing was the way that the supposed clues and development in the case would kind of drip out over the course of the weeks and the months. Mm-hmm. That's what drew out our project. Was there were always some other preposterous thing happening within the Boulder police that we commented on, and we took the lyrics right out of the headlines. So they wrote themselves in a way, and it was a project in a way to see if I could reproduce Golden Oldies, and people seemed to like them, and it became a history of the case through music, oddly enough, which is a bizarre kind of a macabre thing, but you have to make humor out of tragedy, and the whole thing was start to finish a tragedy. So we weren't making fun of the poor little girl. We were mocking the Boulder police. And what I remember the most, I guess, was being warned that we were making some very important and powerful people angry.
I remember the people that we angered, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and the big law firms in Boulder's such a tiny town. And
I'll tell you, the first guy we really made mad was Hal Haddon. Remember, he was John Ramsey's legal defense attorney, and we found out later that I think he had represented Paula's husband in an ex-husband in some SNL scheme. But remember, I was looking at names last night. Pasta J. Alowski.
Hang on. As far as Hal Haddon, we did. We got Friends in High Places.
Yeah, we got Friends in High Places.
One of the better ones.
Yeah.
And for Pasta J, he's prominently mentioned in Werewolf of Boulder.
Yeah, we'll play Werewolf of Boulder in a minute.
All these players had their roles in our various. In fact, at one point we were going to do an opera and stage it in Boulder, and I think you were going to use the Denver chorus or something for this.
I still think we should do that.
With a ghostly presence of the little girl,
she could
the Greek chorus that just kind of narrates.
Well, what was the after she was dead? They saw Nijinsky dance, so we could, it would be a spotlight. But I remember when we had Bill Clinton in some of those things. It was great stuff. Pat Burke. I look at him. I brought my list of names in.
Burke was featured in Don't Worry, Be Happy. We did
That's right.
The Ramseys.
Yeah. Don't worry.
That was the grand jury one.
That was when we did their grand jury too. Of course, Alex Hunter, the Boulder DA, and the people that we found. Pete Hofstrom, who was that trial deputy DA and former San Quentin prison guard. Remember him? You remember Pete Hofstrom? Yeah.
Song.
Well, he was the one that kept advising, and his family attended the same Episcopal church as Patsy and John. Remember, they were raised Baptist, but when they got to Boulder and they discovered that all the power elite went to that one church, the Episcopal church, and that's they all went. And remember when they tried to stage it, that the guy put on the hat and he tried to look like the Pope, and he was outside, and they said,
That's
okay,
right.
Everybody's going to come out this back door and take a picture of Patsy. You and I were going, yeah.
Well, from the word go, within the first week and a half, the family had a website, which at the time was pretty forward, especially because of the situation they were in.
Sure.
But that is actually Patsy's specialty was public relations.
Absolutely.
And she took charge of that situation right off, and the PR machine started within hours.
Well, as I said, I got these notes that are dated back to '06, and they're all yellowed out and folded over. But just my time frame, because it was important when especially when we were trying to do the show every day. But the tunes. But here's a deciding moment. December the 26th, 8 o'clock in the morning. Boulder Police Detective Linda Arndt arrived at the Ramsey residence. You're talking about one getting flushed. Here it comes. And when John brings the body up, remember, he hands it to her, and she
saw stars.
And she put the little girl's body under the Christmas tree.
Right.
You remember that?
After they repositioned the arms and everything,
yeah,
and then Patsy did her Lazarus act.
And Patsy, Lazarus, Jesus, you raised Lazarus from the grave, and she's got her fingers spayed, looking through her hands to see who's seeing her cry. And I tell you what, I'm pretty close to a pause. I'd love you to come on, and we can do the opera. Actually, as Sheik's got everything lined up to do it. I know that you're with your hedonistic family in Indiana. I
think we lost a kid. We're going to go down to the barn and see if we can find him.
Well, how old's a kid? 30.
I can't keep them apart. Yeah, exactly.
That was a kid. That's right. Remember those things? Boy, when the reggae family said, I never knew Don drank till one day I saw him sober. I used to say that about my Uncle Gene. I knew your Uncle Gene drank till one day we saw him sober. Let me do this.
I'd love to hang out with you, but I can't. I have to get back.
Right.
Put some fires out, but it was nice talking to you.
I love you. Happy New Year, Donnie.
Bye-bye.
All right, here's what we're going to do on the other side, because that stuff was so clever. We had a company. We didn't have a company. We had Media Whore Productions, because I was being called a media whore at the time. So we formed Media Whore Productions, myself and that man, Don Reggae. And we wanted to do an opera. We had done 16 tunes and wanted to do an opera. We'll play them for you in the Ramsey Murder. Everyone hang on, 630 KHLW, Denver's talk station.